Hello, and welcome to Bry's Book and Film. The film I'm going to talk about today is Scum from 1979. Did Scum from 1977, the play for today. But now we're talking about the film version of Scum, which was released a little while later, 2 years. Still directed by Alan Clarke and written by Roy Minton. There's a slight personnel change in this outing. Carlin, Banks, Richards, Eckersley, and Dugan are played by the same people. But Archer is played by Mick Ford, because David Threlfall, who was supposed to be reprising his role as Archer, was by then working for the Royal Shakespeare Company. So that gives you an insight into David Threlfall's acting, what's the word I'm looking for, his acting calibre, basically. There are some other personnel changes in the film. Perry Benson plays Formby. You'll know Perry Benson. He's one of those actors, British actors. You'll know him. You'll see him. Joe Kendall in this one plays the matron. Peter Howell plays the governor. The governor's changed. And Andrew Paul plays a character called Betts, who seeks permission to go out and get married. He gets day release to go and get married. Some of the trainees in the Borstal are older lads. So, for instance, there's an inmate called Toyne, and he's actually married. Well, he was. We'll get to that. So anyway, so you've got P.H. Moriarty, another great British actor. You might know him as Hatchet Harry from Lock, Stock. He was in Lock, Stock. Amongst other things, millions of other things. Bill Dean plays Mr. Duke, prison officer Duke. And John Judd plays the ghastly, evil, despicable Mr. Sands. Wherever there's problems, Mr. Sands is sure to be. He's played to absolute ghastly perfection by John Judd. Mr. Sands seems to be... I've watched these films, Scum, the play for today from 1977, and Scum, the film version from 1979. I've watched them quite a few times, and it seems to me that Mr. Sands is a big problem, really. If they got rid of Mr. Sands, they might be halfway closer to sorting some of these problems out. But Mr. Sands and Mr. Hunt and Mr. Duke and Mr. Greaves, they're not interested in solving problems. They're just interested in terrorising, bullying, dehumanising the inmates, the trainees under their control. For instance, Toyne, the inmate or the trainee Toyne, gets a letter to tell him his wife has died. It doesn't say how. It's just a letter from his in-laws saying, "Yeah, well, you should know. His wife's nickname was Candy. Candy died." And the matron says, "Well, who was Candy? A dog, a budgie, whatever, a pet?" And he says, "Well, it was my wife. Candy was my nickname for my wife." And there's no sympathy at all. There's no compassion. There's no humanity for Toyne's plight. There's just nothing. There's no counselling. There's no therapy. It's just, well, Mr. Sands actually says to him, "Oh, stop moping around. What's the matter with you?" So that's the sort of place this is. Eventually, Toyne snaps under the pressure, and he attempts suicide by cutting his wrists. There's a big kerfuffle in the Borstal, and Mr. Sands, of course, reacts in his usual compassionate, humanitarian way with racially abusing Toyne and then just chucking him in his room, racially abusing him and giving him no end of stick, basically. Mr. Sands is a concurring theme throughout this film. So we've so then later on, or a little while later, Meakin finds out they're having a wing meeting with the housemaster, the assistant governor, or whatever, and the chef who prepares all the meals. And they're having a meeting talking about different issues. And Dugan, the prison runner, comes in with tea while they have a quick break. They have a quick smoke break, and Dugan passes along the message to Meakin that Toyne has killed himself in, I think he said, Wormwood Scrubs, which is a prison in London. And Meakin then, who's played by Alan Igban, has a meltdown, and he goes berserk and throws his tea across the room and storms out of the meeting. He probably got beaten up for that as well. So it follows the similar sort of lines as the play for today, in as much that the infamous greenhouse scene is still there. Davis is played by a different actor in this film as well. And the trainees that rape him are played by different actors. And then Davis kills himself as well, which is too much. 2 suicides. You can see why. I mean, there's an extra suicide in the film version with Toyne, but you can see why the original film was banned. The play for today, you can see why it was outlawed effectively. But then the writers decided to get around this ban by, making a film version of it. There's still the fight for dominance between Carlin and Banks. There's still the attack of Richards in the rec room, the recreation room. Mr. Sands is his usual compassionate self there as well. Now keep in mind that Richards has been coshed with 2 snooker balls in a sock around the melon, and so he's not feeling the best. Mr. Sands sort of picks him up, roughs him up a bit, and demands answers, and throws him on the floor when he's not satisfied. Then he discovers Banks in the washroom. He's already had his head kicked in. He's already got, I think they said, a ruptured testicle. I think he's already got a ruptured testicle, which is not going to be a lot of fun. But Mr. Sands just slaps him around, throws him against the wall, shows him no compassion or anything. Just, he says, you stupid Banks, you let him do you over, So he's full of compassion there as well, which is always nice to see. Mr. Sands, Evil Perfection by John Judd. Let's just check my notes really quickly. There's still the right scene at the end. I mean, there's no attempt at rehabilitating these lads. There's no attempt at therapy or counselling, all the things you'd get now. There's no mention of it at all. There's no you weekly meeting with the matron where you just sit around while she bangs on. There's no attempt at rehabilitation. It just and the thing is, the dehumanization and the horror actually extends to the prison officers as well, because they're being dehumanized by torturing and terrorizing and punishing these lads like they are. It's taking away something from them too. So it goes as much for the inmates, but it also goes for the prison officers as well. Rather than trying to be nice to these kids, and they are kids. Woods receives a letter. An inmate called Woods receives a letter from home that his dog has had puppies, and of course, being about 14, he's really pleased with this news. Nobody cares. He goes to see the housemaster, Mr. Goodyear, and he says, Woods is banging on about his dog, and Mr. Goodyear says, "You were not brought here to discuss your dog." He says, "You've got to pull your finger out, and you've got to improve, and you've got to work harder." and would, you know, he's sort of semi-literate, this kid, and, you know, he says, "I'm trying my best, sir." And Mr. Goodyear says, "Well, it's not good enough. You don't need to think here. It's all laid on." You know, so they don't want them to think for themselves. They just want them to follow the regime, follow the rules, and then spit them back out the other side without any sort of rehabilitation or adjustment to their characters. They just want a positive character adjustment. So yeah, Scum from 1979 is definitely worth your time. I didn't write down the runtime, but it's about the same. It's about 90 minutes, I think. Definitely worth a look. Andrew Paul, who plays Betts, you'll know if you've watched The Bill. Andrew Paul played PC Dave Quinnen in The Bill. Perry Benson, I believe, made a few appearances in Benidorm. P.H. Moriarty, you'll know from various other things. The actors I've mentioned before, you know, John Blundell, Phil Daniels, you'll recognise, you know, Phil Daniels has been in so many different things. I think he was even in EastEnders, wasn't he? I could be wrong about that. Ray Burdiss, Patrick Murray, you know, Ray Winstone has gone on to be a big Hollywood star, big deal in Hollywood. Another good British actor. So it's got quality. It's got a quality cast. It's just a shame that the story is so harrowing and so disturbing and so violent. It is a lot. But if you've got the stomach for it, it's definitely worth. The racist language in itself is enough to. The racism from the prison guards, and even from, you know, the inmates to themselves. Excuse me. Of course, the prison officers should know better, but, you know, it is what it is. I mean, racially abusing Toyne for slashing his wrists and snapping under the pressure, that tells you everything you need to know. But it's a lot. The Scum Play for Today and Scum the film version are a lot. But if you've got the stomach for it, they're good films, and, you know, they're definitely well worth your time. I'm gonna give the film version 5 hot coffee cups. I'm not going to put any custard creams with it this time, but Scum 1979 is definitely a 5 hot coffee cup film. So that's, you know, that's as good as it gets. Well, it's nearly as good as it gets. I could have added some biscuits, but I'm not going to. Just 5 hot coffee cups. So if you've seen either of the two films, feel free to let me know in the comments. If you've not and you want to, they are available on Amazon Prime and Amazon, the website. I had to buy the Play for Today on the website and then sync my content to my Fire Stick. So they're both available on Amazon anyway, Amazon Prime. So definitely well worth a look, well worth your time. Thank you very much for watching. Take it easy, and I'll catch you on the next one.